Hello and welcome to Science Research Weekly, Season 4, Episode 40, Beating Blindness and Resilient Microbiomes. Get ready for the PRISMA system to treat age-related blindness, surprising chemistry on Saturn's moon Titan, Kagome tubes for vibration dampening in engineering, the R-Multiverse, and a grant on the foundations of a resilient microbiome. This episode covers materials from October 17th to October 23rd. Let's get started with some research articles. First up is Subretinal Photovoltaic Implant to restore vision in Geographic Atrophy due to AMD. Blindness due to age-related macular degeneration, AMD, is irreversible, or at least until now. Researchers conducted a clinical trial using a photovoltaic retina implant microarray, or PRIMA, system, which consisted of an implant and glasses that project near-infrared light onto the implant. In the study, 80% of the participants, so there's 38 enrolled, 32 assessed, and multiple imputation of the rest, found 80% had meaningful improvement in visual acuity from baseline. And this was at 6 and 12-month assessments. There was, however, I have to admit, a whopping 26 serious adverse events in 19 patients, most of them seeming to relate to surgery. So take that with a grain of salt. Still, the idea of reversing this age-related blindness is pretty exciting. And I was able to find another article, an editorial paper kind of showing a patient wearing the Prisma glasses and a diagram of the system if you're watching the video. So, very fascinating system. All right, next up, speaking of fascinating, there is SnOx Nanoflakes as enhanced near-infrared photothermal therapy agents synthesized from electrochemically oxidized SnS2 powders. So near-infrared photothermal therapy in cancer treatment, it's when cancer cells are treated with some sort of agent, like metal nanoparticles, and then heated with light to damage and kill them, hopefully without damaging healthy cells nearby. Now, researchers use these tin-based 2D nanoflakes. They were SnS2 and mixed phase ones. And they found that these nanoflakes exhibited selected cytotoxicity during in vitro studies. Looks like they studied both human, so the healthy cells were the human skin fibroblasts, but then there's colorectal and skin carcinoma cells that they tried to treat. Okay, shifting from chemistry in the clinical lab to chemistry in space, we have hydrogen, cyanide, and hydrocarbons mix on Titans. So there's a conventional phrase in chemistry, like dissolves like. That is, things like polar substances will mix with polar substances, while nonpolar will mix with nonpolar, but not each other. However, on Saturn's moon Titan, there appears that nonpolar hydrocarbons, such as methane and ethane, can mix with polar substances. The polar substance hydrogen cyanide. So, chemistry in space serving up surprises. Shifting gears here, let's talk about the next article. Topological polarization of Kagome tubes and applications towards vibration oscillation. Researchers were able to 3D print a topological Maxwell lattice, also known as a Kagome tube, which can actually isolate vibrations and could be used for sensitive engineering constructs. The article, including all images, is under a paywall, but I was able to find a news release that kind of showed a conceptual picture of one such tube for those watching the video. They have interesting properties and rather, I believe, delicate. All right, final article. Potassium-40 isotopic evidence for an extant pre-giant impact component of Earth's mantle. So researchers were able to find rocks that were actually deficient in potassium 40, which indicate they could be from a mantle domain that survived the mantle mixing in deep time from when the moon forming giant impact happened. So very interesting of sort of ancient pre-impact mantle pieces. All right, let's shift gears to some research tools. First up, from Rick Wicklund on the do loop, overlay multiple custom density curves on a histogram in SAS. It looks like the steps involve a macro to create one data set, create another data set by using like the PDF function, merging the two data sets, and then using a high-low statement on proc-ggplot to emulate a histogram, and then series statement to overlay those curves. Two new R bloggers posts of note. First, from R OpenSci, go for launch packages shipped to the R-Multiverse. The R-Multiverse is a new way to actually publish R packages. So that might be something of interest. Looks like there was package submissions during this co-working session, REIM, GeoTargets, and WeatherCan. Second post is from Jumping River's blog. What's new for Python in 2025? So Python was able to sneak its way into the R conversation. And there's updates such as color coding in the Python command line interface, not just an IDE, the project management tool UV, free threading, and other developments. 5 new CRAN packages that might be of interest. There's ALP Mix Bayes, Bayesian estimation for alpha mixture survival models, Bayes QR survey, Bayesian quantile regression models for complex survey data analysis, Ariate, automated retrieval from text, NBP inference on average treatment effects for continuous treatments, and partialing.out, residuals for partial regressions. All right, closing with 2 new grant opportunities. First, from LEAP, there is the Foundations of a Resilient Microbiome, or FORM. It's focused on the role of maternal and developing infant gut microbiome and healthy infant neurodevelopment, critically looking at identifying sets of early life pressures to develop the gut microbiome, to the developing gut microbiome, especially with how it might contribute to neurodevelopmental challenge like autism. And then another goal of this is to find if there's resilience to functional disruption can be measured and supported in key developmental windows. And the second is from the Chan Zuckerberg BioHub Network and the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative on the implementation of synthetic biology principles in immunology. It's funding for a 2-year initial research project that harnesses synthetic biology to revolutionize understanding and treatment of immune-related disorders. Form and function. Thanks for joining me for Science Research Weekly. Science on.